Hey, Emery, here's a really quick video just to get you started. When you see a big number like this, the goal is that we want to write it with the power of 10. Under the power of 10, we see that this number right here is the powers of 10. So we could kind of think of this number as 423 times 10 to the second power, but that's not really what we're after with this. We want to move into what's called scientific notation. Scientific notation has some rules. What we're really after with this is 4 and 23 hundredths times 10 to the fourth power. And you'll see that 10 to the fourth power here in a second. What we need to understand is this number. I'm going to break this down for you. This piece of it is called the finite decimal. Finite is actually the opposite or the antonym of infinite. And so when you think about this, let me see if I can focus this better. When you think about it, finite means that it's clearly defined. It has a very narrow description or a defined amount. It can't be forever and ever, like infinite. So the finite decimal means it has to be a terminating and a rational decimal. What we're after with this is having the understanding that finite decimal has to have a value that is at least 1 and less than 10. So a good rule of thumb is to think that my number right here that comes before the decimal is having a value that's between 1 and 9, right? So I only see a single digit that's not 0. Now the rest of it, what I'm thinking about is this, the 42,300. What we get from that is this becomes the finite decimal, 4 and 23 hundredths. And then what I'm left with is how many place values come after that. And there's 4 place values. That means that it takes 4 powers of 10. So if we multiply 4.23, it takes 4 powers of 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. There's all of those values. That's 10 to the fourth power to get this filled back up. So we get 42,300, right? So here's 42, or 4 and 23 hundredths times 10 is going to make it 42 and 3 tenths times 10 is 423 times 10 more times 10 more. And we get our place values. So what this is equal to in that long roundabout way, 4 and 23 hundredths times 10 to the fourth power. And the way that you can write that in there is you'll see a little equation editor. If you click on the 3 dots over on the right side of the response box, there are 3 dots like this. And then you'll see a little button that has a square root symbol like that. Click on that, and then you should see an equation editor that you can write these in. And it's totally okay to put an X for the times. So there's actually a times button that you can click on that times. If we get to a number that's much smaller, like you see something like this, what we do is the same kind of concept. This is the value that we're looking at for that finite decimal. So we'll take that and write 2 and 6 hundredths. We're going to multiply by 10. But with this value, look at this value, it's less than 1. So we actually have to take 1/10 of this value over and over again. We're moving the decimal, in this case, 3 places. So 1, 2, 3 places to the right, making this number bigger. So it has to make this number up here smaller, or excuse me, we have to make this number smaller. So we want to multiply this by negative exponents. Anytime you see a number that's less than 1, we have negative exponents. Anytime you see a number that's greater than 1, we have positive powers of 10. And you can't see that. But there you go. Hope that helps you.